Welcome. Today I'm going to be talking about the follow-up to the Marathon art theft situation, and I'm going to be giving some more insight as to what my plans are with Marathon going forward in the future. Again, sorry for the different gameplay in the background. I just, unless I want to go ahead and steal, lol, this is what you'll have to do with. Again, I'm sorry. So, the Marathon art theft situation has had many developments. I've had my eye very, very closely knit to this, and the live stream that happened really did steal a lot of the deals, air quote, with me and Marathon and its future. So, I want to quickly say, and I'm going to touch into this again, this is kind of like the point of the video, lol, that my kind of grounds for the way that I'd be supporting the game is if they credited, compensated, and offered a job. Again, whether or not Anti-Real takes it is her choice. However, they have profusely apologised, if that's the correct word, I don't know. Profoundly, I guess, is the word I would be looking for. So they've apologised to Anti-Real, they've apologised about this whole situation, they are doing a complete scrub of the game to make sure every single decal in the game is from them themselves. They have reached out to Anti-Real to compensate, and indeed they have said that they are offering her a job. These are kind of like the things that I wanted to see happen. Again, whether or not Anti-Real takes it is her choice, not mine, obviously. And again, it's her choice, not Bungie's. I don't blame her if she doesn't take it. It would be kind of hard to get over that hurdle of the fact that the company that stole from you is now offering you a job. I can understand if she doesn't want to take it, however, I can also understand if she does. They clearly see a lot of value in Anti-Real's art and Anti-Real as a person, and a lot of what's going on there. I say that kind of loosely about them valuing her as a person because of this whole situation. However, the way that they have handled it, I don't want to play devil's advocate, but I am going to be on the fence with it because I have no reason to believe that Bungie will have this whole situation and then lie to the fans that it was an ex-employee. Bungie has had, I believe, 5 of these situations over the last couple years, 4 or 5 of them. This one included. So being a Bungie fan has been a bit tough, as you can imagine. However, everything that I wanted to see with Anti-Real and Bungie's communication has been seen. I don't know if Anti-Real ever disclosed that she ever got paid. However, they have said that they are in words to compensate her. So I'm very happy to hear that. I'm very happy to hear that from Bungie. What now moves on to Marathon and kind of its future, to which I'm going to be reading a tweet thread that I made. I might show it on screen, I don't know, it depends how I feel like what doing in editing. However, it reads as, "Can I be for real, ? I don't know what to do when it comes to Marathon. Game needs to be a bestseller in the year of the Oblivion remake, Expedition 33, Doom the Dark Ages, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Monster Hunter, Civ 7, Dune, Borderlands 4, and more. There's no way Bungie would get liquidated or shut down, however, I think Marathon is screwed. Like, I want to see the game succeed, but we've gotten public info about Marathon for the last month, and the general reception has been terminally negative. They already cancelled an entire marketing campaign before the Anti-Real stuff, and now there's that, and there's so much more to do within the next 4 months to release it. This game can't afford a delay because then it's got to be a top 5 in the year of GTA 6, Modern Warfare 4, Battlefield, Fable, and so many others. I want to see this game succeed, as it has me by the balls, but I'm being so for real when I say I think we might be cooked. Now, what I kind of mean with that whole thread is essentially, we got very recent information that for Sony and Bungie to consider Marathon a success, it has to be in the top 5 sellers for the respective year. This year, being realistic, I don't think that's going to happen because of the games lineup that I already listed. And on top of that, it's not going to happen next year, again, because of the games I listed. No matter how you try and approach it, or you spin it, or you try and look at it, Marathon is fighting an insane uphill battle. I've said this many, many times before, and I probably will continue to say it up to and beyond launch. However, I do believe it's an uphill battle it can win. I just don't exactly know how. They can't delay it longer than a year. They can't push it to this time 2026 or September 2026, because kind of then what? Again, like, to be a success, it has to be in the top 5, as I've already said. New Battlefield, Fable, what is a giant alone? GTA, what is... I mean, do I even need to say anything more about GTA? Like, there is kind of no way that in either 2025 or 2026, Marathon becomes a top 5 selling game. However, I don't even think going into, like, it can't go beyond that time. Like, the game is meant to hypothetically come out in 4 months. There's no way they delay this shit to, like, even, like, January 2027. They try to hit it, the ground running into 2027. They can't do that. They can't. Like, there's so many things that they need to do, and, like, as I already said, like, the rest of this year's got some crazy big games coming up. 2026 has got crazy big games coming up. I don't even want to know what 2027 has booked in. And I can actually tell you one thing, is if they're going for this, like, bi-yearly Call of Duty deal, and Sledgehammer's being kind of shifted towards the, like, the second year support studio, then it would be fighting an uphill battle against Modern Warfare 5, or whatever they decide to do with that series, if it goes into that far. Like, there's kind of just... I assume GTA 5 will probably go to PC that year as well. There's literally kind of, like, no way that Marathon's going to be in a top 5. Do I think it can contend for top 10? Absolutely. In fact, I believe at least for 2025, it probably will be a top 10. Don't get me wrong, again, there are some massive games coming out this year. There's already been massive games, but then that top 10 is already, like... You gotta think about the amount of games that are, like, multi-plat compared to single-plat. Like, a lot of PlayStation games and Steam games are specifically, obviously, PlayStation exclusive and Steam exclusive. Xbox is the only one that posts pretty much most of their games, if not all their games, across all platforms. That's actually another thing that reminds me, is there is the Gears remaster this year as well. So there's no way in Sam hell that Marathon's going to be a top 5 in 2025. I think, as I said, easily a top 10. Not easily, it would still obviously got a bit of an uphill battle, but things like free games not being involved with that will make it a bit easier. And even, like, some of the bigger games this year, for example, like Assassin's Creed Shadows or Doom the Dark Ages, and again, Doom the Dark Ages literally only just released as of recording this, as in, like, 2 weeks ago. Both of those games have sold around 3 million copies, and they are some of the bigger games this year. Obviously, there's, like, the Oblivion Remastered that sold, like, 6 million, like, in, like, 2 weeks or something, like, insane numbers. So there's no way it's going to come close to that. Expedition 33 has sold an absolute ton as well. But I do think Marathon, like, I don't know about $40 or £40 as a price tag. I think maybe 30, even 35 would give them a real big edge, because I think... with so many games coming out this year and the next year that would be $80, I think them setting their standard around there, like, kind of like 30, even, like, that's really, really cheap, don't get me wrong, but I feel like for a lot of people that are interested in it, 30 is a lot easier to part with than 40. 40 is easier than 50, etc., etc. I haven't bought a full-priced game at $70. Not once. And every single time that I do buy a game, and I'm buying, like, an edition of it, what's, like, the special edition or whatever, or even just the default, what is a game that is £70, I'm buying it off of CD Keys. So I'm getting it cheaper. Like, significantly cheaper. What I'm getting at here is, with so many games coming out that are going to be so expensive, them really, really going, like, actually kind of cheap could be really, really beneficial for them. But again, I don't work at Bungie, so I could just be spitballing here. Essentially, what I'm going to come around to here is going forward with Marathon and its support, and be talking about it and covering it and everything with this channel, is I'm going to continue. I'm really, really excited for the game, despite all of its problems, and despite even problems that I have, like, as I said before, in my, like, the good, bad, the ugly video, being, like, no body bags is a really, really big, no bodies is a really, really big thing for me. Yeah, I can look past that. There's so many, like, things, like, in universe and around the world that I can look past. They're making the vendors more unique. They're changing this, they're changing that. Like, there's a lot of changes coming to Marathon, what I think is going to be really, really interesting to see develop. I'm really, really excited for it. I just really, really, really hope that we can see more gameplay of it soon. But as of right now, we have what we have, and that's that. So, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the